In this episode, we talk about the Telangana SLBC tunnel collapse that has 8 men trapped inside it. We also talk about India recording 84 internet shutdowns in 2024. But first, we talk about Delhi's new Chief Minister and the Cabinet. Hi, I am Niharika Nanda, and you are listening to 3 Things, the Indian Express news show. The BJP, after a gap of nearly 3 decades, formed the government in the national capital last week. The party announced Rekha Gupta as the Chief Minister of Delhi, and this was followed by a swearing-in ceremony that took place at the Ram Leela Maidan on 5th of February, where she took oath along with the Delhi cabinet. The occasion was graced by senior BJP leaders, including Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Union Home Minister Amit Shah, and many others.
रेखा गुप्ता ईश्वर की शपथ लेती हूँ कि मैं विधि द्वारा स्थापित भारत के संविधान के प्रति सच्ची श्रद्धा और निष्ठा रखूंगी। मैं भारत की प्रभुता और अखंडता अक्षुण्ण रखूंगी। मैं मुख्यमंत्री के रूप में अपने कर्तव्यों का श्रद्धापूर्वक और शुद्ध अंतःकरण से निर्वहन करूंगी। मैं रेखा गुप्ता ईश्वर की शपथ लेती हूं कि जो विषय मुख्यमंत्री के रूप में मेरे विचार के लिए लाया जाएगा अथवा मुझे ज्ञात होगा, उसे किसी व्यक्ति या व्यक्तियों को तब के सिवाय जबकि ऐसे मुख्यमंत्री के रूप में अपने कर्तव्यों के समय निर्वहन के लिए ऐसा करना अपेक्षित हो, मैं प्रत्यक्ष या अप्रत्यक्ष रूप से संसूचित या प्रकट नहीं करूंगी।
Rekha Gupta is a first-time MLA from Shalimar Bagh and is the 4th female CM of Delhi. Gupta had joined the BJP back in 2002 after spending nearly a decade as a member of the ABVP. Along with her, the Delhi cabinet was also sworn in, which included Parvesh Verma, Ashish Sood, Majinder Singh Sirsa, Kapil Mishra, Pankaj Kumar Singh and Ravinder Indraj Singh. Post their first cabinet meeting, CM Gupta announced their portfolios.
Shri Pravesh Sahib Singh Verma, PWD, Legislative Affairs, Irrigation and Flood Control, Water and Gurudwara Elections. Shri Ashish Sood ji, आपके पास होम, पावर, अर्बन डेवलपमेंट, एजुकेशन, हायर एजुकेशन, ट्रेनिंग एंड टेक्निकल एजुकेशन. सरदार मजिंदर सिंह सिरसा जी के पास इंडस्ट्रीज, फूड एंड सप्लाईज, एनवायरमेंट, फॉरेस्ट एंड वाइल्ड लाइफ. रविंदर सिंह इंदरराज जी के पास social welfare, welfare for SC and ST, cooperatives and election. Shri Kapil Mishra, law and justice, labor, employment, development, art, culture and language and tourism. Pankaj Kumar Singh, health and family welfare, transport, information and technology.
To learn more about the new Chief Minister of Delhi and the Cabinet, we have the Indian Express's Jatin Anand joining us. Jatin, Delhi's new CM Rekha Gupta has been a part of BJP since quite some time, and that too in multiple capacities. She started off as a member of the ABVP. So, can you tell us a little bit more about her?
You're right, Niharika. Rekha Gupta traces the roots of her public life back to not only the BJP, but the Akhil Bharatiya Vidyarthi Parishad, which is the students' body of the RSS. She has been active. I mean, the roots of her public life go back to the early 90s when she became a member of the ABVP during her stint in Delhi University when she was pursuing her undergraduate program at Daulat Ram College. She was first in a leadership position in her college student body, after which she became the president of the Delhi University Students' Union, DUSU as it is called, in the mid-90s, 95 to 96 is when she became active in student politics in DUSU as well. After that, she has held a lot of both organizational and official positions, either in the BJP or through the BJP. These include being a councillor, these include being a general secretary, a vice president, or in the Delhi BJP. They also include a stint as a member of the national executive of the Bharatiya Janata Party, which is among a list of very important organizational posts within the party. So we also have been told, and we have been consistently writing in our coverage of possible picks for the Delhi cabinet, as we have been writing, that she is somebody who was always in the race, if you will, to be elevated into a very significant office and to be given very significant responsibilities by the BJP.
Right. And Jatin, we understand that there were many other contenders for the post as well. So what factors worked in Rekha Gupta's favor for her to be appointed as the Delhi Chief Minister?
As the Prime Minister himself has said in several of his speeches, Delhi is a microcosm of India, and it's like a melting pot where people from all over the country come, reside, and generationally have built themselves up from the ground over several years. It's a combination of different castes, it's a combination of different communities, it is a combination of several factors. So the BJP had to put in place a very significant balancing act. The BJP had already made it clear that they will choose their cabinet, their members or their picks for the 7-member Delhi cabinet from the 48 MLAs who have won in the recently held Delhi elections. And she, we have been told, was always being considered a front runner because she is also, given her interface with the RSS and having risen through the ranks of the BJP in more ways than one since the mid-90s till now, she was also one of the choices that, as we have reported, that the Sangh had conveyed to the BJP to consider for the post of Chief Minister, and if not for the post of Chief Minister, for at least one berth in the 7-member Council of Ministers in Delhi. So she ticked both those boxes vis-a-vis organizational experience in the BJP as well as her roots lying with the ABVP, which is the RSS's student wing. So the BJP had to balance several factors when it came to making its choice, not only of Rekha Gupta, but the 7-member cabinet per se. In Delhi, we are told the BJP was very cognizant of the fact that the choices it makes over here in reference to the cabinet will have a national message and could have national repercussions. So Woman Chief Minister was always one of the possible priorities.
Right. And talking about that, we saw that women were at the center of BJP's and AAP and Congress's campaigns too. And now we see that a woman candidate has been assigned the post of the Chief Minister of the national capital. So what significance does that hold?
Delhi, on one hand, was a place where they also had to keep in mind the larger national message that they would be sending. Because apart from Vasundhara Raje, the BJP did not actually have a female chief minister, a woman leader as a chief minister for a very long time. So woman chief minister, according to our sources in the party, was not only a very significant possibility, but was also a very high possibility when it came to the prime minister's own list of priorities, if you will, when it comes to choosing faces of the party for the next 5 years, especially in the context of the fact that the BJP returned to power in Delhi after almost 3 decades. And Delhi also afforded the BJP the opportunity of an experiment where they could, through Delhi, send a national message and underline Prime Minister Narendra Modi's vision of ensuring that there are more and more women leaders or more and more women when it comes to leadership roles or it comes to important, significant responsibilities such as, the office of, let's say, the President of India. The President Draupadi Murmu is also one of those examples in this case. When it comes to bureaucratic appointments also, we are told there is a stress on identifying and ensuring the elevation of deserving women candidates, women bureaucrats when it comes to high positions, which reflects in several appointments in the bureaucracy. Similarly, within organizational appointments, the BJP has a significant number of women leaders within the organization. And now with Rekha Gupta at the helm of the Delhi government as chief minister, it also underlines not only the prime minister's vision and the prime minister's ambition of elevating more and more deserving, quote unquote, women candidates in leadership roles, but also women were at the core of all the promises which were not only made by the BJP, which finally emerged victorious in the end, but also the other significant political players, the Aam Aadmi Party and the Congress.
And Jatin, as the Chief Minister of Delhi, what are going to be some of the first few tasks that Rekha Gupta will have to focus on, or what will be the first order of business?
There have been a lot of things that the Delhi cabinet has already started doing, vis-a-vis underlining that it is here to change or rebuild Delhi, if you will, from more or less the quote-unquote ashes of the quote-unquote mess that the Aam Aadmi Party left Delhi in over the last 11 years of its tenure. So, for example, you will see that since the new cabinet was sworn in, which was just last week, it has already had, for example, two of its cabinet meetings where it has taken very significant decisions. For example, the implementation of the Ayushman Bharat insurance scheme in Delhi. Secondly, just on Saturday, you had the entire 7-member cabinet, including the chief minister herself, who had hit the ground to go to specific locations to underline issues related to the city's quote-unquote messy infrastructure, to identify problems being faced by citizens, let's say vis-a-vis garbage, broken roads, waterlogging points, you name it. So, as we have been writing in the run-up to the developments that have happened over the last few days, the BJP is looking to make or usher in visible change, quote unquote, when it comes to the condition of the capital. The Prime Minister has already underlined the BJP's vision for Delhi, which is making it a quote unquote Viksit Delhi, which can be a true representative of the rising power or for developing India. And the way that this is being done by the 7-member cabinet is by hitting the ground, by identifying issues when it comes to current public infrastructure and when it comes to the delivery of services such as water, of transportation and related public services.
Right. And as the face of BJP in Delhi, which came to power after 27 years in the capital, what are some of her major responsibilities?
Well, she has a task cut out for not only for herself, but for her other 6 cabinet colleagues and by extension, the entirety of the 48 BJP MLAs who have been elected to office this time after almost 3 decades. So their priorities are pretty clear. Their priorities have more or less been announced by Prime Minister Narendra Modi himself in most of his public meetings. They include, for example, the rejuvenation, if you will, of the Yamuna, the condition of the Yamuna, basically cleaning the Yamuna and developing its ghats and its riverfront, just like the BJP government in Gujarat has done at Sabarmati, getting more buses, for example, for the public fleet in Delhi, the extension of the metro to areas where it was not able to reach under phase 4, the development of Narela as a sub-city, the addition of more colleges in Delhi University, which is a central university and is under the center, the construction of more schools, for example, not only by the central government, but also by the Delhi government. And apart from these, also to ensure better quality services when it comes to utilities like power, water, and let's not forget the monthly payout of the rupees 2500 ex gratia scheme that the BJP had promised in comparison to the Aam Aadmi Party's Mahila Samman Yojana. So these are the priorities, delivering upon these things while also keeping in mind and also ensuring the implementation of central government schemes such as Ayushman Bharat and other schemes which, for example, deal with the or pertain to the in situ rehabilitation of slums in Delhi, the conferment of ownership rights to the residents of unauthorized colonies in Delhi, which have been hanging fire for a long time. I mean, the law was passed in 2019, but not much progress has been made on the ground regarding this. So these are the tasks that need to be delivered upon.
And Jatin, now the Delhi cabinet has been announced. All the members have taken oath. So can you tell us a little bit about them and what made them eligible for the position?
The Delhi cabinet, which by the way took a long time to get constituted by Delhi standards. So there is a clear message that the BJP has seemingly given organizationally on the one hand, and on the other, there is also a very clear imprint of the preferences that the Rashtriya Swayam Sevak Sangh, the RSS, the parent body of the BJP, if you will, the choices that it had made or the choices that it had cleared, if you will, for consideration by the BJP for these significant posts. So, for example, as we've been writing, it always had to be a BJP MLA who was elected. It had to be somebody from the organization. It had to be somebody who would trace the roots of their public life to the BJP, whether they had any interface with the Sangh or not, but they had to be an organizational person. They had to be organizational individuals who had remained with the party for a considerable period of time. And on the other hand, while there are examples of very heavyweight political leaders such as Arvind Singh Lavli, similarly, there was Kailash Gehlot, there was also Rajkumar Chauhan. But all of these leaders, for example, were not considered for any cabinet berth because their relationship with the BJP is not as old as that of a majority of the 48 BJP MLAs who got elected. So, for instance, you have Dr. Pankaj Kumar Singh, who has been given the health portfolio. He is somebody who has been with the BJP for a very long time. Like, he is somebody who is also considered close to the Sangh. He started his political career with the BJP back in the early 2010s. And similarly, you have another face, you have Ravinder Kumar Indraj, whose father was a BJP stalwart. Similar is the case of Ashish Sood, who is also considered to be close to the RSS. On the other hand, there is Rekha Gupta herself, who started her public life through the RSS's ABVP, the students' wing. So while on one hand, the BJP has sent the message that it is people who have risen through its organization over several decades that it will prefer. On the other hand, the Sangh's choices also, we are told, were not only considered, but were the Sangh's choices or being on the list of the Sangh vis-a-vis the preferences, if you will, of elevation into office. These were also considered.
Okay, so these two factors worked in the favor of these selected cabinet members?
You're right, Niharika. We have Parvesh Verma, who is believed to be very close to the national leadership of the BJP. So he made the cut. We have Kapil Mishra, whose selection is being said to be a mix of both the BJP as well as the RSS's blessing. We have Ravinder Kumar Indraj, who again is being cited as an example of the RSS and the BJP coming together and agreeing. Same is the case with Ashish Sood. And when it comes to Manjinder Singh Sirsa, so Manjinder Singh Sirsa, who is a second-time MLA, he used to be a part of the Shiromani Akali Dal when he first came into office, when he was first elected into office in 2017, following a bypoll in the Rajouri Garden Assembly constituency, which he has won from again. So Manjinder Singh Sirsa is a senior leader who was a part of the BJP's national organization before he was fielded from Rajouri Garden. So he is an example of, again, the preference of the BJP's national leadership. Dr. Pankaj Kumar Singh, he started his political career with the BJP back in the early 2010s. So if we go through the entire cabinet, you will see a majority of leaders who have made the cut, not only because of their preference. So if you go through the list of leaders who currently occupy the Delhi cabinet, you will see one of two things, if not both these things, both these factors. Firstly, the preference, there being the preference of the BJP's national leadership, or they being the preference of the BJP's national leadership as well as the RSS.
Right. And Jatin, lastly, what are the expectations for the upcoming 5 years as far as Delhi is concerned?
So the expectations that both the BJP and the people of Delhi seemingly have from the new BJP government, they range from making visible change on the streets of the capital, not only when it comes to the streets of the capital, but also when it comes to problem areas and the delivery of quality public services and utility on the one hand. And on the other, we are told that Prime Minister Narendra Modi himself is of the view, or has conveyed rather to the new cabinet, that they have to ensure that the people of Delhi see a government in action, that the people of Delhi see a government which is working side by side with them, a government which is trying to identify the issues that they face on a daily basis and remedying them with help from the center, and as well as the delivery of the promises that the BJP had made to voters in Delhi before it came to power. So the priorities range from ensuring a cleaner and healthier Yamuna, if you will, to ensuring better roads, a better transportation infrastructure, more colleges, better development, quote unquote, in the countryside. That is the 360 villages of Delhi, which are located all around the city, as well as development. Basically, a quote unquote Viksit Delhi, which deserves to be the capital of a developing India. So these, I believe, are the expectations that both the BJP as well as the people of Delhi have from the new government.
And next we talk about the Telangana tunnel collapse. On 22nd February, in a tragic accident, the Sri Sailam Left Bank Canal Tunnel in Telangana's Nagar Kurnool partially collapsed, trapping 8 workers inside it. The trapped men include 2 Indian engineers of American tunneling firm the Robbins Company, while the rest are employees of JP Associates Limited. Nagar Kurnool Superintendent of Police Vaibhav Gaikwad has said that currently there is no communication with the 8 workers who remain trapped in the debris. The rescue operations began shortly after the incident took place. A top rescuer said that teams from the State Disaster Response Force (SDRF), National Disaster Response Force (NDRF), and Fire Services Department inspected the tunnel on the intervening night of Saturday and Sunday. In this segment, the Indian Express's Nikhila Henry joins us to share more details about the incident and the current situation. Nikhila, can you tell us what happened at the SLBC tunnel on Saturday? And can you describe the course of events that led to this accident?
Yeah, so from what we know so far, 50 workers went into the tunnel, and while they went about 13 kilometers into the tunnel and were traveling ahead, a part of the roof of the tunnel, which is about 3 meters in length, caved in. So a lot of workers rushed back to safety, and while they were rushing back, there was another small collapse, through which they waded out and reached the outside of the tunnel. But 8 workers remained trapped in the tunnel, and that is where we are at right now.
Right. And tell us about the rescue operations that are taking place currently. Have the rescuers been able to make any headway?
So the rescue operations are being done by a lot of teams, including the NDRF, the SDRF, the Army, and from Singareni collieries, there are people there. Then there's the police force, of course. So over 300 people are involved in the relief and rescue operation, which is going on at the tunnel. And what has been happening since the past 2 days is that, they are using the conveyor belt to kind of reach till about 12 kilometers, then walk for about 1 kilometer into the tunnel. And then they are facing slush, which is from the roof collapse, and because there's a lot of seepage from the hillocks above into the tunnel, water seepage basically. So there's a lot of slush in the tunnel, and there's water also. So what they have been trying to do is to de-water or, pump out the water from the tunnel and try to advance as much as possible. So, but they were not able to reach the spot where the workers are trapped.
And talking about that, what are some of the challenges that the rescuers are facing in their attempts to reach the trapped workers?
Yeah, so there were 3 ways in which, they were trying to reach the workers. One is to drill from above, the others to drill from the side, and then to de-water and desilt and kind of reach the workers through the tunnel itself, the open end of the tunnel itself. So now they have basically ruled out 2 possibilities, that is drilling from above and drilling from the side, because you have to understand that this tunnel is basically, a canal which basically gives water, Krishna water, to the Nalgonda district. So it's built into, hard rock formations on top. So it is kind of difficult for the rescuers to drill into the tunnel, and drilling from side is equally difficult. So now what they are trying to do is to, get out as much water and slush, that is debris, as much as possible so that they can reach the workers. As a top rescue team officer who spoke to me said that, the tunnel in itself is surrounded by water, is what he said, because it's basically sending river water from one place to another, right? And the work on the tunnel has been going on for a long time. It stopped in between, then it started, and it recently restarted, and that is when the accident happened. So what the rescuers are saying is that the structural stability of the tunnel has not yet been questioned, because there were several teams which went inside and they checked the structural stability of the tunnel, and they have not really said that, structurally the tunnel is unstable. But because it is filled with slush at the moment, whether you can drill through that, whether you can remove that entirely, and whether the structure will remain even after removing that is a question.
And Nikhila, the Indian Express also had a word with the workers who were able to escape the tunnel before it collapsed partially. So what did they have to say? And were there any warning signs?
From what we understand, the workers were complaining about, slush and water being there in the tunnel, even before. And then there was also the sound of debris falling from top. So they rushed back as soon as possible, is what some of the workers whom my colleague Srinivas Janyala spoke to basically said. So there were no warning signs per se earlier. But while they were in the tunnel, they were worried about the stability of the tunnel, I think.
Right. And what kind of political reactions has this incident garnered?
Yeah, so on day 1 itself, Prime Minister Narendra Modi did speak to Chief Minister Revanth Reddy and assured him that all help from the center will be provided. Chief Minister Revant Reddy basically has deputed two ministers, Rupali Krishna Rao and Uttam Kumar Reddy at the spot, who are consistently at the spot, and they keep giving updates to the media and the people around on, what exactly is happening there. The BJP has said that, it is an effort which has to be done in collaboration with both the state and the center. And both the state and the center are collaborating in whatever way possible. And there has been at least, some parties, including the BRS, has questioned the state government of the stability of the tunnel and whether, the workers were sent in when this tunnel was unstable. But consistently, this government has said that that's not the case because this work has been going on for quite a long time now. So that is their defense.
Nikhila, you talked to us about the current situation, but how do we see this proceeding from here? Till when can we expect the trapped workers to be rescued? Do we have any idea?
So we don't have a timeline for that. The reason why there is no timeline for that is because, the rescuers have not been able to dig through some 200 and odd meters of slush to reach the workers who are trapped. So one thing which happened on the first night is that, they went through wherever they could and they called out to the workers by their name and there was no response. So the assumption is that they are trapped deep inside the tunnel. So unless they reach there with the help of, all that is available, including drone technology they were thinking of using. They're thinking of using sniffer dogs. They are thinking of manually digging through the debris. So from all that they have, all this is being considered. That's where we are at right now.
And in the end, we talk about internet shutdowns in India. India reported 84 internet shutdowns in 2024, the highest among democratic nations, surpassed only by Myanmar, which saw 85 such blackouts imposed by the military junta in the country, according to a report by digital rights organization Access Now. This is the first time in 6 years that India has not been named as the country which saw the most number of internet shutdowns in the world. Last year saw over 296 government-imposed internet shutdowns in 54 countries, with 202 such disruptions recorded in 11 countries or territories in the Asia-Pacific. Authorities shut down the internet most during instances of violence and conflict, with over 103 conflict-related shutdowns in 11 countries, including India. Shutdowns during protests and instability, exams, elections, and to cover up grave human rights abuses were identified as the other triggers in the report. Access Now said that Myanmar, India, and Pakistan together accounted for 64% of all recorded shutdowns in 2024. The report that was published on Monday said, quote, "Despite a modest decrease in shutdowns from 2023, 116 internet shutdowns, India still imposed 84 in 2024, the most disruptions ordered in a democracy that year." Unquote. Out of the 84 shutdowns, 41 were related to protests, while 23 of them were triggered by communal violence, as per the report. 5 internet shutdowns were imposed by authorities during government job placement examinations last year. At least one internet shutdown was imposed in over 16 Indian states and union territories. The state-wise data further revealed that the state government in Manipur imposed the most number of shutdowns, which was 21 within the country, followed by Haryana and Jammu and Kashmir, both at 12. Namrata Maheshwari, Senior Policy Counsel at Access Now, said in a statement, quote, "Shutdowns are incompatible with India's global leadership ambitions, whether on AI, digital governance, or skilling. In no other democracy are people cut off from connectivity without oversight or accountability year after year," unquote. Pointing to the lack of safeguards in the Telecommunications Act 2023 and the Telecom Suspension Rules 2024, Maheshwari urged authorities to repeal rights-violating laws and make 2025 a shutdown-free year for all people in India. Parts of the revamped telecom legislative framework went into effect last year. A key criticism of the Telecom Act is that it retains the colonial-era provisions of the Telegraph Act 1885 for government-ordered internet shutdowns without adding safeguards such as an independent oversight mechanism to review shutdown orders. Currently, the legal validity of shutdown orders are reviewed by a 3-member committee comprising secretary-level officials at the centre and in states. You were listening to 3 Things by the Indian Express. Today's show was edited and mixed by Suresh Pawar and produced by me, Niharika Nanda. If you like the show, then do subscribe to us wherever you get your podcasts. You can also recommend the show to someone you think will like it. Share it with a friend or someone in your family. It's the best way for people to get to know about us. You can also tweet us at Express Audio and write to us at podcasts@indianexpress.com.